Today is Vlog Day 1021.
I already finished it. Good morning. It's Friday, I think, and my 2020 is over. And I thought I'd take a moment to reflect on what the experience was like, kind of catch up on a couple things, and just, think out loud. I also thought that we could, get caught up on opening stuff that people left for me at the Peloton or sent to me. Thanks in advance for that, by the way. For those of you who are maybe just tuning in, the 20 and 20, or the idea of the 20 and 20, was inspired by my buddy Mark, who introduced me to a drinking game a couple years ago, where basically you tried to have a drink in each arrondissement in the course of a day. Nobody ever finishes it. I actually haven't participated in that, and it just seems kind of scary. It did, however, inspire me to think in terms of wanting to explore the city, wanting to get out, wanting to see more, while combining that with obviously promoting my guide. I wrote a guide to the city, and wanting to get that out there a little bit better, wanting to help promote it, but at the same time have some fun and see parts of the city that I hadn't seen before. There are certain neighborhoods that I know much better than others because I've spent a lot of time in them, whether I used to do bike tours in them, or whether I just have friends there, or I just love them because of their food or whatever else. And then there were others that I didn't know so well. So instead of spending a lot of time promoting things that I thought were really cool, it was more just me wandering around seeing what I found, what I stumbled on. And overall, I had a really, really good time doing it. Pat, I'm gonna start with yours because I know what it is and I need it. Pat sent me coffee. But where from? Guatemala. Tenango. That smells good. This is good. It's perfect time because I'm this close to being out. Just very disturbingly close. I was surprised at how exhausting the whole experience was. I knew it was gonna be tiring. I knew it was gonna be a stretch, but I thought, I'm gonna have an editorial calendar. I'm gonna know exactly what I'm doing every day. I'm gonna get up early. I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna film. I'm gonna get home right after lunch. And originally I thought maybe I'd have a drink in the afternoon as well to share that, but that was a little bit too much. And I figured, I'm just trying to give a sample for what the feel of each arrondissement really is. And so I was like, well, no, I'll just get home, edit, and then have some time to relax in the evening. This might actually work out really well. But what I discovered was that the difference is that when I'm vlogging daily, when I'm making a video every day, what that means is that I'm kind of following along with my day. And there are good chunks of time throughout the day that I'm not filming. Respond to emails, I respond to comments, take care of business, take care of business-oriented stuff, whether that's ordering postcards for my patrons or, actually I need to post a Patreon poll right now. There's a lot of work that gets done during the day that you just don't see. And so at the end of the day, when I get home and I end up editing my vlog and I sit down to do that, while it is pretty much the end of my day and I've started filming as soon as I woke up and then end my day by editing a video, I got a lot done during the middle of the day. With this, it's filming from 8 in the morning until noon or 1 o'clock, and then editing until 4 o'clock, something like that. And then by the time 4 or 5 rolls around, assuming that I get done that quickly and haven't just passed out and taken a nap somewhere in there, then I still have a whole bunch of work to do in the evening. And it didn't shorten my days at all. And because I was out moving so much, whether that was walking or on the wheel, man, I am physically just wiped, sore. It's a good feeling, waking up and just being going out and using my legs as much as I have, and my shoulders for my backpack and everything. It was a challenge. So let's talk about some more of the specifics. The problem is I don't know if I kept this organized enough to know exactly who sent what. Books. The Death of Expertise and Bowling Alone. Oh, I feel like at least this one was on my wish list. Pretty sure I recognize it at least. Oh yeah. Discussing the dramatic shifts in societal makeup, thanks largely to the internet, I have a feeling. But who is it from? Thank you, Duarte de Castro. I appreciate it. One of the big challenges was just fitting everything in any given video. Some of the arrondissements had so much and so many things that I would have loved to have shown that I just couldn't fit them in. Some of them I managed to get a lot in. The very first one, I got a ton in. But then as soon as you add friends to the mix, it actually makes it more challenging, because the reason I was able to get so much done in those first few is because I was just me on my wheel zipping around. And then as soon as you throw friends in the mix and they're walking, everything slows down significantly. And what's interesting about it is when I was on the wheel, with friends, that was even more tiring because going slow on the wheel requires like that much more active balance. Where when you're going quickly, it's easier to balance. When you're going slowly, especially at a walking pace, it takes a lot more. So my calves and especially my feet just on fire. And my feet definitely, man, there are muscles in your feet. You just don't know you have it until you're balancing in a strange way on them actively for a few hours at a time. So that was really fun though. And what was really cool about the wheel was that I was able to just zip off, get shots. Even when I was with friends, I could take off, go get a couple shots, come back and find them, meet them at different places. When we were in the 4th arrondissement, I was like, I'll meet you at lunch. I'm gonna go to Pompidou right now and film that because I don't want to leave it out. And then I'll meet you at lunch. And just the ability to kind of shoot off the opposite direction, film something, and still get to the next destination before my friends was really, really helpful. Hey, Steve Weaver. Steve, hot sauce without the beer is just fine. I need to cut back on my beer drinking anyways. We have beer stickers. The Altamont Beer Works. More Altamont Beer Works. Is this a yo-yo? Hold on. I'm gonna try and get this on the first try. I gotta stand up. Close. It's only been like a decade since I've used a yo-yo. Hold on. Cholula, more Cholula. Ooh, chili lime. Attempt number 2. We'll get this. Another challenge was in kind of prioritizing what I wanted to share and also not being able to share what was going on in my daily life quite as much. Like I still dropped hints and I talked about like the stuff that's going on in my room, which I can show you here soon. There's some stuff going on in my family life as well that I'm gonna need to take some time to figure out, and I also am trying to figure out how to talk about necessarily on the vlog, but just some turns with my mom's health. I don't think anything terribly dramatic, but definitely things I've been thinking about, and I am gonna be making a trip back to see my parents and spend some time with them soon. So there's been some stuff going on there in conversations. There's a postcard here from Mystery Man 2. Good to hear from you, buddy. The largest secondhand bookshop in Scotland. I feel like this might have been, was this in Max's documentary? I don't know. This is great. Thank you. Da-da-da. Uh-oh. Is there glitter in this? There's glitter in this. How much glitter? You're a peach. You're one in a melon. I get it. It's a pun. I'm really scared about the glitter situation. But thanks for the 20 euros. There's a pun on the card. 1,000 vlogs. Oh, that's fun. Thanks, Lisa. I appreciate it. 1,000 vlogs, that's celebratorial glory. I really like the pun, by the way. I just got freaked out by the glitter. I'm gonna go ahead and actually remove this from the couch situation because I can already see some sparkles forming. I wasn't the master of my own schedule, so it was a great challenge. I feel somewhat accomplished in having completed it because going and seeing every arrondissement is another step towards kind of that unattainable goal that I have of knowing Paris inside and out. Whether that's knowing all the streets or all the neighborhoods, all the parks, whatever it is, like I want to get to a place where I really, really, really deeply know Paris. More than just like at a cursory glance, but like I actually am familiar with all the neighborhoods and familiar with as much of it as possible, which is why it's an unattainable goal, but I really want to get to know the city super well. And so completing this has just been a really fun way of kind of really establishing a better sense of the above ground geography of the city. So overall, there was a challenge in that, in the sense that like if friends wanted to see me, they had to meet me wherever I was that day. I couldn't go in to check at the Peloton, which is why all these packages backed up because I hadn't been in there for a couple weeks. And so there's like the regular rhythms of life that I was missing a little bit, but at the same time, I really enjoyed having the unified purpose and the drive to get out and accomplish one thing every day and towards a very attainable goal. Alrighty, there's a lot going on in here. Honey habanero jerky, jalapeno jerky, garlic chili pepper jerky, Tex-Mex trail mix. That's gonna be spicy. There's pretzels, sriracha flavored almonds, French's crispy jalapeno. I thought those were gonna be onions, pecans, plenty of protein in here. Wasabi peas, that I saw coming, and woo, there's a card. Good. If I can't tell who this is from, it'll be rough. Here's a giant kiss from a chimpanzee shirt, it looks like. And some silly stuff from Paul and Joan. Thanks, Paul and Joan. I appreciate that. That is intense. The blue eyes make me worried that this chimpanzee is a White Walker. Game of Thrones. No spoilers, don't worry, no spoilers. Wanting to visit the 20 arrondissements in rapid succession not only is like a very quantifiable and attainable goal, but it's something that really was also, it reminded me just how important and powerful having an editorial calendar for my vlog is, because it helped me to organize my thoughts, my days, and even though it was a little bit much, even though it was a little bit intense, knowing where I was gonna be on any given day, having that kind of parameter, and then looking at a map and being like, what's my route for this? What are the things I wanna make sure I see? What are the places that I probably should avoid because X, Y, or Z, and then just going for it. And you're running into the challenges of like places being closed on the days that I just happen to be in that arrondissement, you know, having the May Day protests or the Gilets jaunes or whatever else, disrupting metro lines and just trying to get out and accomplish what I was setting out to do. All of that's just part of the fun. Is really part of the experience. So, and then yesterday, one of the things you don't see in the vlog yesterday, I did mention that I ended up getting something like 23 invaders by the time that I came home and edited. And then before I went out there was a Game of Thrones night at a friend's place, and I went back to the neighborhood that I had been in and went farther north in it, and then just like walked for another hour and a half and found another, I don't know. I think in the end I got 36 invaders yesterday in total. So I'm at 590 now, which is great, and I want to keep that going. I think I'm going to work really hard to up that even more dramatically, just because it's a lot of fun. That was another thing. That also, the invaders really encourage you to go and explore parts of the city you would never ever walk into without it, and so that's really, really fun, really encouraging, and also kind of informative for future projects. Speaking of future projects, I still want to go back. My original plan for doing the 20 and 20 was hitting each arrondissement up for a week, like spending a week in each arrondissement, really getting to know it, really exploring it, showing some of the smaller stuff that I don't even know exists that I will hopefully discover along the way, and then just taking some more photography and just spending some more time in it. So I'm gonna try and do that. I don't know when or how it's going to play out. I have some schemes that I'm working on to try and make it happen. One of the things that I learned is that I definitely want to stay in those arrondissements. Like the original plan was that I would actually stay in each arrondissement for a week so I could focus on it and just spend my time there. And after this experience, I definitely want to do that. The commute, I commute pretty much every day anyways, but at a much more leisurely pace. And there's something about the forcible commute every day to get into whatever arrondissement I'm going to adds a lot to the exhaustion and takes away from a lot of the time that I could spend focused on actually creating. So the days when I was in my own arrondissement or the neighboring arrondissements, those were easier days. And I just felt like I got a lot more done, and I had a lot more freedom, and I had a lot more energy to expend on it. And I know it's a small thing, but I really feel like I'm operating pretty close to the edge of my capacity, especially with a project like this. There were a couple days where like the camera wasn't recording consistently. I think during the 18th, which really was frustrating. My computer fell apart that day too. And it only takes a couple of technical problems to really like just push me right over the edge and just make it feel like this is impossible. And so knowing that I'm operating kind of on this really thin line and that there's not a lot of wiggle room really hammered home for me that if I'm going to do this again in the future, I really want to make sure that I give myself space to have the right amount of energy and the right amount of time to do it properly, especially if I'm going to focus a little bit more on the photography side of things, because I would like to incorporate photography into a project to take out of this. And I'm, pretty excited to do that. I don't want to do it right away, but I would like to revisit it, both because personally I want to get to know the city better, and also because you recognize that there's some big changes happening in Paris and some really cool stuff coming down the pipeline. And it would be really cool to try and capture Paris as it is today through my eyes and be able to share, more recommendations, more ideas for what to do if you're visiting the city, but also just to try and take the time to really see the city in its entirety as it currently is before even bigger changes come down the pipe in the next couple of years. So I don't know, just thinking about taking a snapshot of the city in that way. Overall, I had a really good time. I'm really glad I did it. I'm very, very tired. I was like falling asleep anytime I spent time with friends during or after filming this. I think it was really good to push myself. I don't know. I think overall it was just great. I've made a huge mess here, but I think that this will do it. And this is what I'm saving this for last. Really excited about this. These are the best tortilla chips possibly in the world. I haven't had all the tortilla chips in the world, so I can't say that definitively, but these are the best tortilla chips in the world. But who are they from? I know who somebody said, this is the problem with having done the 20 and 20s. I'm so far behind. I know I already said thank you to whoever this was via whatever messaging system they used to message me about it, but I can't remember for the life of me where no note, and if I can figure out who it is by the time that I've got this whole video finished, I will put your name on the screen. Thank you so much for the Juanita's chips. They're delicious. And thanks to everybody who dropped off some swag for me or sent it to the Peloton. I really appreciate it. That was fun. It felt like it's like Christmas in May. I really have no complaints. I definitely feel like I'm behind on other work now, but I also think it was worth it. And it was really cool to see the immediate response, both in like the view count going up, but also in seeing my guide sales go up and in seeing just kind of an increase in engagement and everything. It's just been a lot of fun. So thanks for watching. Thanks for participating in the 20 and 20. If you got to follow along every day, if you got to relive some memories from when you were here, when you lived here, and hopefully if I can revisit this project again in the future, you'll be a part of it then too, and we can find a way to make it even more interactive and maybe a little bit more fun on that way. But I'll be thinking about it as we go. So with that, I gotta go post something on Patreon. I'm gonna do a monument poll for Patreon, I think. I'm also gonna be traveling for Patreon very soon. So for those of you patrons who voted on stuff, I'll be fulfilling those polls here very soon. I've even bought tickets, so things are happening. And for the rest of you, I hope that you're having a wonderful day wherever it is you are. And thank you to everybody who sent me stuff, because I haven't actually done it yet. I'll do that now. And I'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning for the 30K Q&A. If you are seeing this right now, you might have missed the window to ask for the Q&A, but I will double check the comments and I'll check Twitter as well when I'm filming it. So ask them very, 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 very now. Otherwise, it may not happen. I'll see you tomorrow.